most dangerous podcast. P in the building was good. It was doing bar for bar. They Kent was going down, man. Let's get it. Good. Hundo up in this studio. Hundo. We ain't out.
F to the R to the S to the H to the O to the U to the T. That fresh out.
What's up?
It's time to wake up the neighbors.
Wake them up. Wake them up.
Yeah, man, it's going heavy tonight, man. Hey, hold up. It's not even the night tonight. It's the afternoon, man. We here early, man, heavy, man.
Good
Sunday.
afternoon.
You know how it goes down, 4 p.m. Eastern. Have my time off today.
And for those who's international, good morning, good afternoon,
good morning,
evening.
too.
Salute to y'all.
We got Bebo P in the building. Jay Kent, man, he's with the Mom Dukes. Happy birthday for the Mom Dukes, man.
Salute to Jay
Bebo P,
Camp
what's
and his
going on
moms.
today?
Hey, man, feeling good, feeling great, and feeling blessed on this Sunday. How about yourself, Iceberg?
Hey, man, we got a dope show for you guys today, man. We're going to be talking heavy. This is the State of the Union for hip-hop. You know how it goes down, man.
Right.
Every
Hit that
year,
like and
you know
subscribe.
how it goes down. Man, your favorite president, man, Biden, may be having a State of the Union, so we got to have one, too. But we can't just have a conversation, man, by ourselves, man. We got to have somebody heavy to come in the game, man. We had to get our guy, Media Man.
Salute to the
man.
Media Man. Salute
First
to
of
you,
all,
brother.
If y'all know who he is, man, like I just got to get my little one off real quick, man. Media
Let's
Man
go.
is like the dopest dude on YouTube. Talks about so much empowerment for men and women, man, especially in our culture, man. Media Man, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well. And again, like I said, man, I appreciate the invite. It was a no-brainer to come on, man. I'm a huge fan. Love what y'all brothers doing. I'm going to have to get some insight on who did your intro. That was amazing, man. I was sitting there like, oh, my goodness. Like, I got to get on there.
Got you.
So, yeah, but I definitely appreciate it. Thank y'all, brothers, for having me on.
Hey, thanks for being on.
Everybody coming in. Mama Bear's in here, man.
Mama Bear.
Mama! She's in here early, man, from Toronto.
Mama
What's
Bear.
going on, man? Offset
Salute
Room
to
is
Mama
soon.
Bear.
Yeah, he's
Salute
soon,
to
man.
Toronto.
Hey, but we got a good show, man. We're going to be talking about a lot of dope things. Bebo P's in here, man. Media Man's in here all the way from
Iceberg
Houston,
in the
Texas,
building.
man. But this is the thing,
Media
man.
What's good? What's good?
Media Man, everybody's got an origin story. How did you even get into the space? How did you start this platform that you have? Again, you guys go over to his platform, Media Man. Come right back, man. We're gonna be putting his cash up in here too.
I appreciate it.
Come on
man.
now. Put that money in. But what's your origin story on how you got in the game?
So basically, man, I was kind of ignorant to these spaces because I wasn't really focused on it while I was in the military. Okay. But when it was time for me to retire, about maybe 2 years out, I started getting more questions about relationships from like some of my female colleagues. Okay. And then they start sending me links of people that they watch. And I was like, oh, let me see what's going on. So when I started to put my ear to the street, so to speak, I was like, wow, I did not know that the Black community was having these issues with the relationship. So I started a Facebook page called The Question of the Day. And I was just asking questions from my own essay to see what was going on. And people started gravitating towards, and they started answering questions, both men and women. So I started listening to different podcasts, different platforms. And I was like, oh, this is really an issue. But one thing that I noticed that was missing was the statistics. You know, like they would have these conversations without having the actual knowledge to, you know, I guess substantiate their points. So that's where I kind of saw a lane. I was like, well, maybe I can add a little bit of value to these spaces. And that's when I decided to branch out to YouTube and put my message out there, and hopefully that, you know, people would acknowledge it and rock with the content. And luckily, you know, I've been, you know, somewhat successful after a year or so doing this. And yeah, I'm gonna continue, you know, on this doing this good work, you know.
That's awesome, man. And a statistical master you are.
That's my educational background. So
okay.
I mean, yeah, it's just
there you go. You mentioned the military. How long were you in the military for? And,
I was in the military for 20 years, retired Air Force.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
20 years.
Salute.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Salute.
So yeah,
we appreciate your service, man. Thank you for
absolutely.
Your service.
Thank you so much for your service. And
thank
salute
you. I
again.
appreciate it.
Yes, yes. The crowds are saluting to you, welcoming you in as well.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back.
Absolutely.
Now, this thing, most people say, like, why the heck is this dude even on the platform? Y'all talking about hip hop. First of all, let's be clear. Media Man is a huge hip hop fan, man.
Yeah,
of course, he's from
fan.
Sacramento, but man, he's a lover of all hip hop. Man, tell us how you got into your love for hip hop, and also this is a Bebo P question. How did the music, man, maybe help you? What music did you listen to when you were in the military that kind of got you through adversities and that kind of stuff?
Man, so the first question, how did I get into loving music? I had a very musically inclined family. People used to sing in the choir. I have a couple of family members that did some music with Tupac. My cousin, he was on the soundtrack to Game Related, Stanley Blackshire. He was a guy who was heavily into the music, and my sister, she was a music head, and she used to do a little bit of local rap, and just listening to all those old school records from like the Jodeci's and back in the day, MC Lyte, Queen Latifah. My cousins and my sister really got me into the love of music, and that was actually the first time that I heard Do or Die Twister. That's when I really kind of fell in love with hip hop, because we thought those guys were from California because of the way they sounded. Because California, up and down the state, you got the pimp culture. So I grew up on like Sugar Free.
Come on, man.
Those guys.
Free.
So you wouldn't tell, but yes, man, Sugar Free somewhat raised me.
As soon as Sugar Free, man, DJ Quick, come on, man.
DJ Quick, all them brothers out there. So
gotta get that perm right. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get that perm right. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
There you go.
The second question you asked, the guys that influenced me the most, I mean, honestly, this may be a shock to a lot of people. I'm a huge Devin the Duke fan. And I've never smoked weed in my life. Never smoked weed in my life, but I've learned so much about women in particular from Devin. I've learned from Sugar Free, Twista. That's one of my favorite rappers of all time, and also Snoop, of course. Being from California. But I think most of my influence come from, I would say, those guys, So being that I'm older, so
how did hip hop music influence you to push forward and through the ups and downs throughout your 20 years in the military?
Oh man, it's me being a gym guy, it's kind of a getaway. And when you're in the gym for like 2 to 3 hours, you got a lot of time to listen to music. Right. So that's when you start trying to branch out and listen to new things, different artists. I was heavily biased against New York rappers because I'm from California. I had a couple friends. They would reach out and they'd be like, "Hey man, nah, you missing out on this Jay-Z guy. You got to listen to Jay-Z." And I'm like, "Who is this, man? Nah, I don't want none of that." And so I would listen to it. I'm like, "Oh, okay." The Blueprint came out. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I was like, "This dude cold." So kind of reached out and started listening to those guys, and just like the stories that you get from them, and sometimes you can relate to them, especially with like family issues. I know Beanie Siegel, he has a song about his pops that I was like, man, I was like, this guy, it kind of hit home. I can't remember the name of it, but when I heard it, I was like, yeah, he's went through some stuff. I was like, this is something that I can gravitate towards. And then I found Lloyd Banks on his mixtape scene, and it's just described New York to a T before I even stepped foot in the city or in the state. And when I was listening to him, I was like, I gotta go. And when I went, I was like, this is just like Lloyd Banks described in his Cold Corner album. So,
to a T, huh?
To a T, good and bad.
Awesome. So you mentioned a bevy of artists that you love, starting out from the West and then eventually to the, Midwest, East, and so forth. Who's in Medium Man's Mount Rushmore? Or Westmore, whatever floats.
We're gonna put you on the hot seat, real. We're gonna start off on the hot discussion.
This started the discussion between my homeboy. He's from Chicago.
Okay.
And man, I was having a tough time with this one because as you get older, you kind of replace people,
Sure.
I had to do it. I mean, this may sound crazy, but I got to put Drake up there, on one, and then I have to have Kendrick Lamar in there. He replaced Snoop. Because I was a huge Snoop fan.
Wow. Okay.
So I got to have Kendrick in there.
You gonna get some hate mail after the show.
Right.
And then for third, I got J. Cole in there. I love Cole. KOD. I actually have a laminated picture of his album KOD in my movie room because that was one of my favorite albums. And then also I went back and forth with this last one. It was either going to be Nas. Kanye or Twister, and I got to put Twister in there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
All
he had
right.
the most influence on me when I was younger. So yeah, so that's my top four. Top
Okay.
four guys. Yeah. So.
And out of those four, which one, if you were forced to pick, serve as Medium Man's absolute favorite of all those four individuals, legends that you mentioned?
I mean, I got to go with Kendrick. I got to go with Kendrick because I started listening to him back in 2008, and you know, when Section 80, Overly Dedicated, those mixtapes, those are some of the albums that I'll never take off my playlist because I'm from California, and the way that he was describing things leading up to his more mainstream albums, I was like, that sound like me, you know, and it just made so much sense. So I can always pull from Kendrick to get what I need in regards to whatever situation that I'm going through. So if I was stranded on a desert island, I would have to take a couple Kendrick albums with me. You know. So.
Okay. Speaking of that, speaking of K-Dot, his last album, which was the double album, Mr. Was it Mr. Morale and
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
And the Big Steppers.
Yeah.
Kendrick talked about an array of personal issues that not only affected him coming up, but also issues that have a tendency to affect our community as well.
Right.
So with that being said, what do you believe the biggest issue is in our community right now? And how do you believe that the music that's pushed to us from the mainstream media plays a part in it?
Well, first, I think the biggest issue is everybody wants to be right and nobody wants to understand. And I think that's a huge issue in the Black community because we've given each other so much leeway in regards to say what we want. In particular, on the women's side, you know, women have been able to say whatever the hell they want about men. But now when we get some podcasts, you know, some mics, some equipment, now it's a problem. Right, but this
you talk about in the barbershop, but not on.
You know, so I think that's the biggest issue. People want to be right instead of listening and listening to the truth about certain things, and that's where I kind of come in. But that would be the first thing. And then your second question was?
The second question was how do you believe that the music that's being pushed to the consumer from the mainstream media plays a part in that?
Okay, so starting with the men's side in hip hop, I think it does somewhat promote a toxic relationship culture in regards to how you're supposed to treat a woman, right? Okay. Because I think most of our interactions or what we hear in mainstream media is how to describe a woman who's not good, and we can point out, you could ask a guy, well, how you feel about women, and he'll have a whole thesaurus on the things that he doesn't like about the type of woman that he would desire to date. But then when you ask him what things are good about women, and the main thing that he goes to is vagina, right? And that's the only thing. And we have to get past that as men, right?
Facts.
I mean, we all love a little piece here and there, but I'm just saying, you got to find something else that is valuable to you that comes in the form of a woman.
Right.
Now, on the women's side, they're still promoting that narrative of, I don't need a man. And that's something that has been echoed in the Black community for years. And I don't know why our women don't want to break that. And they think that struggling to make it work is the norm. And it's actually not. And we have to break that some way. And that starts with having level-setted conversations based off facts, data, and statistics, and then moving forward. And if you decide this is not enough, I want something different, then cool, you go and do what you need to do. But as of now, we're going to start going by the rule of 10. It's going to be 3 people are for, 3 people are against, 4 people are undecided. I want to talk to the 4 people that are undecided.
Could you say that again for the people in the back? Could you break that down for the people in the back?
The rule of 10. So basically, it's just you have 3 people that are always going to be for. If I give you this data, you understand it, I'm rocking with you. 3 people are against. They're toxic. No matter what you say, they're not going to believe it. I'm not talking to you. Stay away. 4 people are on the fence. They're undecided. I can give you information. I can talk to you. We can have a normal conversation. Now, after that conversation, if you still feel the way that you want to go for the people who are against, bye. And then if you are for, I'm going to continue rocking with you, and we're going to build with you. And my goal is hopefully to get the majority of those 4 over to the people who are for. and then we can move forward as a community, because everybody can't be saved, and we have to come to grips with that. Every woman is not going to get married. Every man is not going to be a millionaire, and y'all just have to accept that and move on. Right? So.
Take notes, folks.
Take notes.
Take copious notes.
This is the thing too. Bebo jumped the gun on going to the Teen Summit swag. We got to talk about just real quick the list that made you upset in the first place,
man.
So about 2 weeks ago, we talked about Complex's New York list, top 50 rappers, and Media Man went off. Went off in the comment section. He was like, "Hold up, man, where's Lloyd Banks at?"
Yeah.
First of all, you talked about Lloyd, just spitting game, painting a picture for you. Why do you think mainstream media? We're gonna go heavy a little bit, deeper into it later on, but just off the dribble, why do you think they kind of don't push guys like Lloyd Banks, true spitters? I mean, we talked about Redman's in New Jersey, New York, but why do you think they're putting Cardi B above Raekwon? Ice Spice is on the list.
Oh my goodness, man! Y'all killing me, man. Y'all killing me.
We just had to know real quick. And again, in the chat, salute the chat, man. And Jarv did go off. Salute to Jarv and Rap Roundtable.
Yes. Salute
they
to
went
Rap
off on this,
Roundtable.
man. Salute. But we got to get Media Man's take on this list, but also being from the West Coast and having the respect for New York music. But we also understand we don't control it either.
Right.
Or the narrative. Why do you think sometimes, man, mainstream media is doing stuff like this where they don't consult with some of the grassroots guys? If I'm at Time Magazine and I'm talking about black male issues, family issues, I'm going to Media Man.
Appreciate
Be clear.
Right.
Why do you think they don't come over here to get the talking points, man, from us, just like they would, if we're talking about something in the community from you? Why do you think, again, they would leave somebody like Lloyd Banks off this list?
Well, so honestly, the first step that they always fail, they never ask other rappers. They need to ask other rappers about their opinion on rappers, because there's a phrase out there in the hip hop community. They say that I'm your rapper's favorite rapper, right? So there's a lot of rappers out there who are mainstream that love Devin the Dude. There are a lot of rappers that love Lloyd Banks. And if you ask them, who's your top 5 lyricists out there, and the majority of them would say Lloyd Banks. Yeah. So that's where they fail all the time. And then second, they tend to go off of who's more popular, right? Yeah. And since women are the largest consumers of women, of course, of music, they're going to put Cardi B and Ice Spice in there. But in my opinion, they haven't done enough. Cardi B is a great artist. She does well, but she has not put in the work that Lloyd Banks has done over these past years, and just based off of mixtapes alone. And then if you listen, I mean, the guy's nickname is Punchline King. Like, brother, like how you gonna put Lloyd Banks on there? But in a sense, I think something that holds Lloyd Banks back is his voice. It's kind of raspy. Sometimes you can't understand it, but if you have a good ear and you listen to what the dude is saying, I mean, it's gems in there. It could get you through whatever you need to get through. So yeah, I think the main thing is they need to ask rappers, who's your favorite rapper, and listen to who they listen to. I've heard multiple rappers say that about Currency, from New Orleans. The guy puts out an album every month.
Every month.
Yes.
Salute the Currency.
Start with the rappers first, and then go from there, and then get the, like you guys are heavy on Facebook. I mean, of course, I would have hoped that they would have reached out to y'all. Like, man, hey, who do y'all think? Let me get your opinion on this. Go to grassroots, see the people who are actually listening, and not the people that are sitting in the boardrooms, writing this stuff up. So yeah, it was. Well, and
we got some smoke. The first smoke of the day, man. SY's in here. He said Banks not top 5 rapper. I'm sorry.
I didn't say top 5.
Yeah. We didn't say top 5. He didn't say top 5. That's just salute to SY. He's also saying Ransom is better than Banks. And again, salute to SY. And again, this is why you want to talk to some grassroots cats, because again, top 50 And also, most people wouldn't even put Ransom on their list. You know what I'm saying? They be talking about something else. So again, this is why we having a conversation like this, and also this is why you come over here to get the real hip hop, man. Again, what people are listening to, like you said, the consumer, the rappers. Like most of these guys over here, especially all the ladies and men in our chat, they go crazy when these lists come out, and that's what they do on purpose because they know we're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
They baited me. They got me. They got me.
They got us too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The other situation goes down to as well is we're seeing a resurgence of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing the OGs come out. We saw Ice-T, salute Ice-T, Ice Cube, Nas for the Hip Hop 50 Live show. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing Snoop and them come out. Again, they were out before TikTok and before social media, so they had a big calling. But now we actually see this TikTokification of music now. So hold on, I'm gonna play this video for you real quick. Just want to get your reaction real quick.
TikTokification of rap. So basically how TikTok is not only changing rap music, but how TikTok is affecting the fandom that some people have of music. Saw Baby, just a few months back, you had Saw Baby's new song, Lost All My Feelings, have a viral trend because of its part. I actually thought the dance trend myself was cool. This is what the writer says. For the most part, it seems harmless and helps rappers get their music out. But there's a deeper flip side to this too.
I love my bitches, it's pretty, they showing their titties is up to the ceiling.
So what you're seeing, I'm going to get into this, is that the case that he's making right now is that instead of the songs inspiring the trends are inspiring the songs. This is not a new concept, especially when you think about the emergence of Soulja Boy when he first came onto the internet scene. So it says Gunna, which is the song you just heard. It's crazy because this trend literally made this song rank #1 and resulted in Gunna solidifying his comeback to rap after the whole YSL saga. It almost feels like these songs are made for trends. The and bye. What do we report?
So again, this is why we're not seeing Lloyd Banks and Ransom are now on these lists, and they're trying to push the Ice Spice. Because again, you know, we can talk about other spaces too that cater more towards the majority crowd. What's your thoughts on that? And also, do you think this is having an issue with the way younger guys listen to music nowadays or hip hop nowadays?
It is. I agree with the video. It's money. You know, it's a money grab. You know, if you can make a song that I guess resonates with the crowd over there at TikTok, that can make you a lot of bread. And I know a lot of artists are understanding that, so they start to gravitate to make like certain hooks or certain sounds cater to somebody that can possibly make a dance out of it, or some sort of trend where people are reposting it. And you see that all over TikTok. I go over there, you know, pretty much every week just to see what people were talking about, and you notice it, you know, and I'm starting to notice a trend change. I wish that it was different. You know, I wish it was back in the old days where, you know, the music was the stuff that, you know, draw in artists to make better music, so to speak. But now they're just making music to, I guess, fit the narrative of TikTok, so to speak. And it's messing it up, you know, for me in particular, because I still like the boom bap sound. You know, so I mean, I need Lloyd Banks, so he need to keep making out.
Well, the other thing too is like it's just like working out. Like when I was working on myself, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just do 0 sugar, but it's worse than the regular sugar. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you it's worse.
It is.
So I'm drinking 0 sugar. Like, no, man, you about to go crazy because you're just gonna mess yourself up even more. So it's almost like they're doing the same thing with the music. So again, this is why we have you over here to talk about these things. Not only because you're a music and hip hop connoisseur, but it's like you're seeing what's basically going on with the after effects of the music.
Yeah, you see it all the time, man, and it's just, I'm still, I may be showing my age, 44 years old, but I still have a tough time of seeing grown men doing choreographed dances on on camera. That's just me, you know. So, but yeah, I'm seeing a new wave of men who consider themselves hip hop enthusiasts, and I think that's why I gravitated towards y'all space, because I've seen guys who kind of understand the grassroots of hip hop, and y'all still stay true to the essence of it. And I think we're missing that. There's no feeling behind the music that some of these guys are, some of these, men and women are making. And I think, and not saying that you have to go through a struggle to make good music, but just understanding it will help you do better in these spaces. And I think we're missing that essence of it,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and you also said you were talking about thug maxing.
Yeah.
I got a little video. Hold on, I got a little video that you had on your channel. Don't strike us real quick.
That are a lot of black women who are in the limelight. In their young days, they're dating Future, they're dating rappers, and then when they mature, they date Russell Wilson and they date Will Smith.
Similar, but it's like the street dude first.
Yeah.
Nice guy. What runs with first? I don't know. Last.
Yeah, it's true.
Next.
Yeah, next, dude.
Yeah.
So to go back to your question, yes, that's what I experienced. When I was younger, black women tend to not like me because I didn't fit their description. Now, can I say all black women? No, that is not true. There are black women out there that do not want that archetype of a thug type of dude. They don't like that. But from my personal experiences, black women told me they weren't really, and also I'll say this, most of the black women wanted guys that are way older than them. Most of the black girls who are attractive in my city, when they were 15, 16, they were talking to a guy in college who was on the way to the NFL.
Now, do you think some of that is culture? Is that music? Is that new music? Has this been going? I mean, I'm in your age group too.
Yeah.
So I mean, this has been going on. So
yeah, so we on the same page.
We on the same page.
If there are black women in the audience who are around the same age as us, they will say that what he was saying about the 15, 16-year-olds dating the men who are out of high school, that is true. We've seen that multiple times. And one thing that we do in these spaces, we try to dismiss a point when it doesn't feel good to you. And these are the tough topics that we have to address.
Right.
Absolutely, it was wrong for those grown men to be dealing with high school women. But we've seen it. We can acknowledge that they did it and it was wrong, and we have to correct it moving forward. Right? So yeah, so that part of it is true. And also what he was saying, that a lot of black women aren't attracted towards the to the suit and tie type of guys, the clean cut type of guys. And that's I would say the majority, in my opinion. Right. And so what the young man was saying, he was like, yeah, sometimes if you're a little bit of an anime guy, or you're a guy that's not on the football team, or not one of the popular kids that is sagging his pants and have the archetype or the avatar of a guy as a hood dude, then most of our women aren't attracted to that. And this is the way that we view masculinity, right?
Yeah,
our women view masculinity in a way that it has to be overt. Like you have to be toxic.
I gotta see it.
Yeah, and I hate that
see
term using toxic masculinity, but our women tend to gravitate towards that, and we have to, I guess, unlearn the fact that masculinity comes in different forms. There's a positive way of being a masculine man, and there's a negative way of being a masculine man. Like you would know that I have, I'm a 3rd-degree black belt, the way I'm dressed, right? You would know that I used to teach people in the military how to do master combatives, because I carry myself in a manner that is civil, right? I'm not going out there beating up guys, but everybody in my circle is protected. Trust that, right? Yeah. So we have to develop a different way of helping our women understand what true masculinity is, instead of that gun-toting, pants-sagging, rah-rah type of dude, because those dudes can get knocked out just like normal dudes can get knocked out, right? So yeah.
Facts.
It is what it is.
But again, like before you go in, Bebo,
Go ahead.
can you explain what thug maxing is in your opinion?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So it's a pickup artist tactic to help men attract more women, because not just black women are attracted to the particular guys that look like, with the pants sagging and, the distressed jeans and, maybe holding the gun in the, in the videos. But all women are attracted to that, especially in the big cities, Miami, Houston, New York. So guys have understood this, so they feel that they need to change their outer appearance to appeal to the wrong types of women. And what I was telling guys on that video, don't do that, because there are literally young men out there getting tattoo sleeves, trying to get their neck tatted up just so they can fit this archetype of a thug just to attract women. And they're not understanding this has long-term effects to your personal growth because you may not be able to get a job because you cannot hide a face tattoo, right? So, and I tell young guys all the time, if you want to go down that road and get all these tattoos on your face, you better own the company because you will not get hired at a place that you respect. And these are things that we have to break, especially with that thug maxing type of stuff, right? So what is that? Toxic masculinity is not a thing. These are they're toxic people, masculine and feminine. Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, I don't like using the toxic, toxic masculinity thing. However, there are some forms of people who try and exert masculinity as toxic. It happens, right? So we have to acknowledge that. So
all day, man. And this might somewhat tie into what it is that we're talking about. Somewhat. 5 months ago, you also released a video with a clip of Taxstone who was on The Brilliant Idiots, along with, and you had other related visual clips regarding male content creators beefing, and you basically letting it be known that they need to cut it out. They need to stop.
Right.
So with that said, and with tensions seemingly rising both online but also offline in these interesting times that we've been in, just in general for 1 and 2, given what happened like 2 or 3 years ago with the i.e. rappers living out their violent lyrics from drill music, the grab and dash store thefts in select certain cities and such. Can you explain the importance of conflict resolution from your military and overall personal experience?
Yeah, and first it starts just with the black men and telling them stop, beefing with each other and in the public eye. Is protecting our black male ethnic image. Lord knows we need to repair it. They already have a stigma or a stereotype about black men. All black men are just these, thugs, and we're gonna, plunder and pillage and all this type of stuff. And I'm trying to do the work to repair the black male ethnic image by telling people, hey, what you thought about or what the numbers you hear in regards to black men being in prison, most people in the black community don't know that there's less than 3.5% of black people that are incarcerated. They think that there is 50% of black men that are currently in prison. But what they don't know is across the whole United States, there are only 1.9 million people incarcerated. 1.9 million. There are 40 million black people walking the face of the earth in the United States. So how are all black men bad if less than 3.5% aren't even incarcerated? So that's the first thing. The second thing with conflict resolution, this stuff can carry over, and y'all may you may meet one day, because I know we all think it's YouTube and but we travel, right? You may meet up at some gathering, some conference. And then what you gonna do, right? And if it's all for jokes and fun, then you need to let your audience know that, because they're gonna start riding for you. And next thing you know, you got issues all across the world. So conflict resolution is definitely important, and it doesn't help anyone if you beefing with each other on camera, and I mean, it gets you anywhere. Like, we can't touch each other out here. I'm not in your face. What are you going to do to me? Unless we see each other. But yeah, it's very important. And those small things can turn into big things. And me being in the military, and you guys have seen it, in the military over the past years, wars have started because of, bad information. Somebody said something about someone, and now you got a whole country involved. We're in somebody else's country trying to protect our quote unquote freedoms, right? So these are things that I think black men in particular need to get better at, because our conflict resolution skills are piss poor at this point, especially in the inner cities of Chicago. There's been multiple times that I've wanted to go out there and help, but I've been told by city councilmen, city mayors, and they say, hey, nah, brother, you're not gonna be able to go out there, unless some of these things happen. But yeah, I want to help, but it may be dangerous to me, so we got to get better at that. So
with all of that said regarding conflict resolution over, you name the beef, with the relationship / power dynamics that certain brothers have, challenges with the overall not so positively glorious aspects of the music, and just many other things that permeate within those categories. do you believe that there is a path that hip hop, R&B, or just overall urban contemporary music can take in order to help correct the courses? Or do you think that it's pretty much, it just is what it is at this rate?
It may be that. It maybe is what it is, because we all need variety. I mean, I don't want to, artists expressing themselves in whatever way. I mean, we can criticize it, but we do need that variety, right? And I think it helps the community and helps us gravitate towards the people who actually do make music,
And we had it back in the 90s. We had it in the early 2000s. Now we don't.
Right.
Yeah, and I think we need more variety. Like, I seen Q-Tip, on the top 50, artists like that. I mean, I'm a huge Queen Latifah fan because of my sister, MC Light. I always, gravitate towards those types of artists. More in modern day, I mentioned Rhapsody when we were in the back chat or whatever. Yeah, Rhapsody is one of my favorite artists. Yeah. So yeah, we have variety, but it's not enough. And then also people tend to gravitate towards the not so good music. And I fall victim sometimes as well. The beats are good. I'm in the gym. I need something that's gonna hit hard. And I listen to the young guys. Maybe funny, I'm 44 years old. I listen to some of Yeat's music in the gym.
We see you there.
Yeah, NLE Chopper.
So that's the secret to the biceps. We got you.
But yeah, so I'm a victim as well. So
there you go.
Well, and this is the thing. You said a lot of names about like the nostalgia, the Q-Tips, the Rhapsodies that we kind of grew up on. This is the face of hip hop now, though. It's saying this is no wrong, Katie. Yeah,
man.
This is the basically what Bebo was saying. You know what I'm saying? You got this. They're pushing this guy, and now you can't go to the mall without seeing that kind of stuff. Seeing people going, and now I see every 15-year-old black boy with hair like NBA YoungBoy. The tight jeans and they're wearing Uggs, or they wearing like Crocs and all that. But then these are the dudes, man, they got the toast on them.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We saw the situation in Chicago where, the mama basically told the 14-year-old come out with the joint and light dude up.
Yep.
Over a hamburger.
Yep.
What's your thoughts, man, on the young boys? You know what I'm saying? Because again, this is the households, man, that we talking about.
Yeah, that's a part of the thug maxing thing, right? Okay. Going back to to that point. Yeah, that's a part of that. These guys see that, and then let's talk about NBA YoungBoy. How many baby mamas he got? That translates to getting women, right? So if young men see that, they're like, oh, okay, if I look like this guy, if I act like him, then I can get women, because a lot of men are driven by the power of a woman's femininity and what they have between their legs. So that's a huge part as well. Now, and with the young men, I mean, like I said, I want to help. I want to reach out. Just me. I don't think I'm making a big enough impact, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been giving to Food of America for a while now, and that literally pays the lunch and the breakfast for kids that are in school. So I give to that every month, but I feel that I need to do more. But I can't go into these particular places because it's not safe for me. It's not safe for my daughter. It's not safe for my fiance. So I definitely want to help. Home. But yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. But my message to the young guys, like, us, men is our age. If you see a young man who is open to listen, let him open up his heart, and explain what he's going through, and see if you can help in any way. Because sometimes these young men just want to be heard. You just want to talk to it. I used to go to Druid Park, the YMCA out there in Baltimore, and I used to just talk to the young men, because they would see me and it would, immediately turn into the military and bodybuilding, right? And that would get their mind off of whatever issues that they were going through, right? And I'm not saying you have to give monetarily. You may just, lend an ear. Listen to what they're going through, and they may see you as a mentor, and that may help them, guide them into the right path. At least that's what I try and do. You got to kind of put the medicine in the candy, so to speak, right? You give them a little bit of, medicine, and then you sugarcoat it with a little bit of candy
that candy flavored broccoli.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yep.
and like I said, this is the state of the union of hip hop that we talking about today. That's why we got Media Man in here. If you just came in, salute. Appreciate you rocking with us today, man. It's Sunday. Just getting out of church, man. Got your little sandwich, you know what I'm saying? Come on.
Absolutely.
In. You know what I'm saying? Get your soda pop, whatever you got. We're talking about like hip hop, 50 years of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? The crazy thing, we haven't controlled it ever, you know what I'm saying? And when we don't control the message, man, it can be used against you.
Right.
So again, we talked about the young boys, but then I think they try to get us in the early days with the whole Boys in the Hood and those kind of, pictorials. You know what I'm saying? Even the whole Tupac, imagery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your mama was a black queen, but she was a crack fiend too. You know what I'm saying? Gotta love her. So we never really talk about the women though. You know what I'm saying? So Fab put out a video where he was talking. Well, he put out a social media post where he was talking about the women. I got a video though, real quick.
Okay.
Just to talk about
This
that.
is criticizing female rap for being too one-dimensional. So female rappers have been on a tear these past few years with Ice Spice, Sexy Red, Glo Rilla, Megan Thee Stallion.
These are all Bebo P's favorite artists, by the way.
Stop! Girls, Scarlet, and numerous others making big moves for women in hip-hop. Their male counterparts have recognized this trend over the years, with Lil Baby most recently claiming that female rappers are running the game right now.
It's like crazy. Crazy female artists right now, for sure. Female is like running the game right now.
However, Fabulous pushed back on some of this praise and said that while he's happy to see so many women doing their thing in hip-hop, he'd love it if some of these strong women choose to rap about their life experiences a little more. I love hearing female rappers talking some real ish. Women are so strong, have so many stories and perspectives that we need to hear in pure form. No disrespect to any female rappers out there, but I think there's only one style of female rap, hip-hop, being promoted, programmed, and looked at as successful now.
Man. Hold on. Whew. Before we go in, we gotta play the conspiracy music. What's your thoughts on on the women, man? Because again, we know in our culture the females predominantly run the households, and that's almost by design. Now you have them where they're running the playbook of Section 8. They're running the playbook of snap cars. Now you're running it where it's the son-husband situation that KS talked about. And then they're listening to this very empowering music, you know what I'm saying? And now that you're playing this around your little kids and all that,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Cardi B's not.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
Cardi B said
the
she's
irony
not.
of it, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So do you agree with Fabulous? Because I know Fabulous, your guy, sold tapes,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, all day long. Salute to Fab, you know what I'm saying? I actually tagged him and hopefully he's watching. But do you agree with him?
Yeah, I definitely agree with him, but honestly, women won't listen unless Beyonce tells them to change. Beyonce says, hey, we need to be a little bit more diverse in what we're putting out there. Then I think our women will start listening. But Fab, he said the same thing that Jermaine Dupri said a while back when he called it stripper rap. And they got upset at him for saying that as well. But women see it, but it just feels good. But the funny thing, we have to start defining what a successful rapper is, because when these young women put out a full album, women don't buy it. Yeah, so that's an issue. They'll buy that one song, but when those women put out their own albums, the sales are down, right? Fact. So and of course, men aren't listening to, some men that's listening to it, but the majority of of their artists or the artists that are making that type of music, it's women. So if we're going to consider it support, they may get support on Instagram, on social media, but when it comes to sales, those women are not thriving like they say they are. So, that may drive them to change their music. And again, like I said, we just need some rappers to step outside of the box and show us something different so we can see who you are and support that if the material is good. Because once you put it out there to the public, it's ours for us to consume and critique, right? And I just want people to understand that even your opinions, you say something on YouTube and you telling people don't judge me, how?
How, Sway?
Yeah. Wow, what are you talking about? So the
crazy thing too is we don't even have R&B. You said Jodeci. We don't have R&B no more.
Yeah.
Because things have changed so much in the community where it's like, I don't listen to no dude talking about he gonna give me the moon and stars. I want to hear about that thug love.
That's true. I just put out a video about that where the girl was like, a dude came up to her, put her in a headlock, and was like, "When you gonna let me F?" And she was like, "Oh, that was so sexy to me." And I'm like, "See, young men see that. Now you got young dudes going out there thinking they can put their arm around a girl." So
yeah.
Man,
I think Bebo did that one time. You know what I'm saying? Did it work good? Did it work good?
No, let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop.
Bebo, what's your thoughts on that though, real quick too, man? I mean, I know y'all in the streets, man. I know you getting busy.
Stop
out there, you know what I'm saying?
Stop. No,
what's
Medium
your
Man
thoughts
is.
on that?
Yeah, Medium Man is 1,000% correct. Along with the fact that the music industry is that they seem to operate in phases. So, as discussed before by you brothers, the industry once had balance. You know, you had your Little Kims and your Foxy Browns. You know, sexy as ever, but still talented with solidified rap. You know, they had substance in their rap and their lifestyle. But you know, and you have the other side, which you guys mentioned as well, your Queen Latifahs, MC Lights, Miss Lauryn Hills, and so forth. But now it's done a complete 180 to where there's just nothing but a groundswell of sexual promiscuity when it comes to modern day female rap artists, to where the only person you can think of is Rhapsody when it comes to a female artist to help counterbalance it.
Maybe
Shay Noir. Who's that?
Remy Ma, Shay Noir, yeah. Pyre said Shay Noir.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But then again, are they signed artists? Are they mainstream artists? No. And the answer is no. So who in the mainstream fold, you know, of our lovely women are being put out there in order to help counterbalance it? And the answer is, chances are, zero.
Yeah.
So with that said, yeah, go ahead, brother.
Antoine's even saying Beyonce ain't gonna tell him to change. There's too much bread involved.
Yeah. Again, like I said, the money.
Yeah. So Fabulous is absolutely right. Go ahead, Iceberg.
So, I mean, this thing, I have friends that are like, man, I'm making $500,000 a year. My wife is in the suburbs. She's around, you know, some Taylor Swift looking little chicks. This ain't gonna affect me. Until she goes back to the hood, to the family reunion, to the friends, to her sorority girls, to the Beyonce concert. Where do you see on this topic? Do you see it changing? What would make a woman say, you know what? I don't want this. Is not for me. Like, this sounds good. I can put in the car and bump it, just like we would bump a Snoop album, but we ain't gonna shoot nobody. So this empowerment thing is whatever, but hey man, I'm going back to, I'm finding a husband, I'm finding a dude. Is that what, from your work and from your videos, you put in 1,000 hours or more, 10,000 hours or more? What do you see?
So what I see is, honestly, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with y'all brothers. I don't think I see it changing. I don't think I see women giving up the quote unquote power that they think they have in regards to being more liberated, sexually liberated. It feels too good. It's fun. You guys see the videos, they're having fun. And when you're a man, particularly a black man, that you're trying to tell women, hey, this is not going to work out for you once you get to 35, 40 years old, they look at you as like, you're stupid. I'm having too much fun, right? And I don't think that's going to stop them from doing what they're doing. Now, granted, I'm a little bit torn in regards to women being more sexually liberated. I tell men who are on the dating market, use those women for what you want. And if they're not marriage material, then get rid of them. But they're going to take some of this weenie along the way. And I'm going to tell women, and I tell women that all the time, if you want something different, then you need to present yourself in a different way. Because if I have men that are following me, we know how to slot women, wives and other things, right? There can be a woman who doesn't fit your narrative and she don't want to submit, she don't want to change. I'm independent, but those women continuously still having sex and they are useful to the group. So if that offends you as a woman, then you need to change. If it doesn't, then we will continue to use you as cannon fodder on this dating market. As long as men are protecting themselves from early pregnancy, from STDs, I'm going to tell men to keep running through if you qualify for the majority of women. And like I said, again, ladies, this shouldn't offend you if you're doing what you need to do, right? So I'm a little bit torn. So if women say that they want to be independent and they want to do it on their own, men will only start hearing or start listening if there was no sex involved. As long as there's sex is involved, we're good. You're not gonna cook, you're not gonna clean for me, but I can still take you in the bedroom and flip and dip you whichever way I want to. We'll take that deal. So again, ladies, if that offends you, change.
Hold on, I heard cannon fodder, and I heard flip and dip. Media Man is on a tear today, folks. Hit that like and subscribe and go over to his channel if you haven't. Media Man
hold
on
on,
YouTube,
hold
man.
on, pull out the money, B-Bo-B.
Oh, you know the
Hit
money
this
stays
cash
on.
out, man.
Yeah, you
Media
gotta
Man
support.
live.
The best way to support, baby.
Yeah,
Hold
man,
on,
come
baby.
on, man.
You
He
already
said
know.
sugar free, so you know what time it
Hey.
is.
Oh, sugar free, baby.
You know he said sugar free, man. You know what I'm saying?
All day, all day.
The other thing is we see a lot of things going on in our community. Again, women are the focal point of our community. Our platform, and yours included, is built on empowering men and women. This ain't bashing women at all. We love our women. The thing is family. We've seen a lot of situations that where family is out of the focal point. Like when we were younger, we watched A Family Matters. We watched Cosby Show. We saw Claire Huxtable. We saw Keke Palmer this week. Disrespect. Claire Huxtable.
Oh, I was pissed off about that because she is the woman that I use as an example of femininity. So I was like,
Brown
what?
Sugar. Yeah.
Oh,
H-Town in the building.
Hey.
Salute. Yeah, salute.
What
Texas
talking
Brown
about?
Sugar in the building, man. Salute. What's your real quick thought on just on the small situation? We gonna talk about Kiki later. What's your thoughts on just that messaging of if you hold yourself to this standard, now you're uppity, you're Carlton? Cause we saw that in Fresh Prince where, you know, everybody wanted to be Fresh Prince and Will Smith and wear your jacket inside out, but then Carlton come in and oh man, he's a buffoon. And we didn't know that was programmed at the time.
Yeah, no, but that's the word I was going to use, either programming or conditioning, you know, with the black community. And I think that's why the Cosby Show was so important to the black community, because we needed to see a family who was, you know, living in such a manner and not, you know, moving on up, you know, or Good Times or something like that.
Right.
You know, and we don't have that type of polarity in today's mainstream media to see that there are a large contingent of black men and black women doing very well for themselves. And it's not accepted in the black community as it should be. And that's the biggest issue that I've noticed with these spaces, because when you do have a man, especially after KS, you know, after Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, you got a black man on there coming on in a suit and tie, a tailored suit and tie at that. Now
Every
if they see a guy like me, they're like, oh man, he already hates black women. I'm like, no, man, I take care of black women. I have a black woman. I helped create a black woman. I'm marrying a black woman, right? So why would I sit on here and come on here and say that I hate black women? I just hate some of the behavior that's going on, and I also hate some of the behavior that black men are presenting in these spaces as well. And that's where we're at right now. You know, we're trying to fix that issue, that conditioning that we was talking about. So yeah, man, it's room for improvement. There's definitely room for improvement to the people that want change and want to be not independent, not dependent, interdependent. We never talk about that in the black male relationship spaces. Relationships are not one-sided. And I kind of keep trying to tell people it is interdependency. We depend on each other for different things. And we got to start accepting that a little bit more. So
Antoine saying it, and first of all, Antoine's going hard in the paint today, man. He got a quote of the night right now. He said there's a full-blown attack on masculinity, femininity, and family that's been going on for years. I agree on that too, Antoine. Salute, man. Salute to you and the fam too, man. Salute to you. We saw basically, you know, we know the Epsteins and all that stuff and everybody that does certain things, but and even the Harry Weinstein situation, it's almost like these guys do stuff, but then they'll use it. The black guys that kind of maybe even did something close to it, they'll get chastised for it, ruin their whole platform, the whole brand, and destroy it. So now when you talk about Bill Cosby, I don't want to hear that. He's the so-and-so, but you don't even watch the content that he built, that he created, that was, a keystone of us being black men and women growing up, man. Everybody watched the Cosby Show. So now to throw that under the bus because of some stuff that he did in his personal life, then also the Keke Palmer situation where you're basically saying that she was uppity.
like that's a bad thing,
Like it's
you
a
know.
bad
And,
thing. Yeah, exactly.
that's one of the the traumas that we have, are the generational curses that we have to break. You know, every time, you know, if a black man or a woman speaks properly, enunciate their words correctly, they're seen as acting white, and we have to remove that stigma, you know, immediately, because that doesn't help us in the real world if we keep holding each other back in that aspect. You know, just because somebody went to school and learned how to, you know, properly speak, you know, on panels and so on and so forth, that shouldn't be looked at as a negative. I've done videos on that as well. There was a young lady who was saying that the men who are doing well for themselves are lame. And I'm like, well, how is this a strong, you know, contradiction in regards to what we're doing? You know, and it was just, it was kind of tough to understand. So in all actuality, guys, I'm still learning about these spaces. I'm just kind of taking all, you know, all this stuff back with me to the lab, so to speak. I'm analyzing. I get paid to do that for a living. So everything that I hear, I try and make, you know, somewhat links to what other people said, and then I'll try and connect the two to see if we can find a solution. And hopefully we'll, you know, on my platform, that's what I'm focused on. I don't know about other people, but yeah, I don't see the point of being in a YouTube space talking about black relationships if it's not solution based. Why are we getting on here and just talking about circular, you know, arguments? It makes no sense. So yeah, so we need to start moving forward instead of backward or just in the same circle, you know.
Well, KS always said too that, hey, we're at the table, we're the negotiation table waiting on the women. You know what I'm saying? We've talked about on this platform before, even when KS was living. We're the first gen hip hop kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 44 years old. So we're the first gen, man. We've seen everything, man. I'm like one of them dudes, man. I saw MJ crossover Larry Bird with the chain on, you know, in the playoffs, but lost. But then I saw him see the 6 rings, you know what I'm saying? Then I saw Kobe. Now I'm seeing LeBron. So I've seen it all.
Seen
you know
it all.
Our generation has. We saw the poor righteous teachers. We saw Q, you know, being pro-blackity black. You know what I'm saying? We saw it all going to almost a 180 now. You know what I'm saying? What's your advice on our generation seeing what's going on? And still, because now, like you said, we got kids now.
Yeah.
I can indulge in some of this stuff, but it's like I can't live it. So I can't listen to this 20-year-old stuff. Back in the day, you can listen to Pac at 20 years old and still get a Brenda got a baby out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Do you think is there some artists right now that you see doing that? Or is it like we're only doing stuff for money now? You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of, you know, artists out there that are good, but it's nobody that has, you know, caught my eye, so to speak. You know, I mean, I listen to Baby Keem, you know, I mean, that's you know, a good rapper. I think he's going to be great here in the near future. But it's tough, man. You know, like you mentioned Tupac. Yeah, even from Kendrick and J. Cole. Like, I mean, I listen to those guys. I just would say we're a little bit more consistent with putting out, you know, work that we can kind of gravitate towards. And I think that was my biggest issue with Kendrick, because sometimes he would sit there, you know, he'd make an album, then he'd wait 4 years or something, and then he would pop out or whatever. But I just wanted more, you know, maybe I'm being selfish, you know, because he is one of my favorite rappers. But yeah, I just wish they put out more, you know, music, you know, that would kind of influence the way that things are going. But I think our opinions as the older generation, I think we matter the most, because like you said, we've seen it all, you know, so we can have an objective opinion about what we're listening to. So if I can, you know, listen to Tupac and then I can listen to a new rapper and I can be like, hey, you know, this is where I think, you know, things differ. And I think it was better at this time, this day and age, you know, so our opinions do matter. We shouldn't be considered lame, you know, and get talked down upon. But yeah, I think our opinions matter the most because we've seen it all. So
Texas Brown Sugar saying facts that girls are using TikTok to educate themselves on how to be a woman.
Yeah, and that's all bad. It's all bad.
Texas Brown Sugar. Hey, go follow Texas Brown Sugar on YouTube, man. Salute to her in the building. H-Town, of course, man, in the building too. Come on, now.
Can I speak on that real quick?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
So I'm gonna put some of the onus on the older women in our community, and let's speak to the black community. Y'all got to be more vocal in reaching out to these young ladies if y'all see quote unquote bad behavior. But sometimes y'all are scared to talk to these young women because you know the backlash that you receive in them comments. So if you understand that they're not open to understanding, then you can easily understand what men are going through on the dating market. So if you are not woman enough to go up there and confront these women for telling, the younger women these toxic messages, then me and you have a problem, right? And I'm gonna talk about you. If you sit there and you let certain things happen and you stand right next to these women who are saying Keke Palmer was right, I'm blaming you as well. You are just at fault as whoever else is at fault because y'all are standing idly by. Now, you can talk about me. I'm doing my part. I'm calling out the men. I'm teaching financial literacy. I'm telling them how to become a more reserved, regal black man, but also keep your masculinity intact, holding frame. Women, that is your responsibility for the younger women that you see acting up. So don't expect a man. I shouldn't have to tell women that you need to dress conservative if you want to be viewed in such a manner. That should be your job, right? At some point, black men are going to stop talking to y'all. And that's when you're going to have a problem. Because when KS passed, he was the only one willing to talk to black women. Now you see men just like, hey, F them. Let them do what they want. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, you do not want that. Because we already have the passport bros. Those dudes enjoying their time overseas, they're gone. Now you got to focus on the men who are staying here. So it's your job as women to make sure they have suitable partners to marry. Because my last point, and I know this is a big topic in the black community. We talk about marriage. Did black women know that 33% of black men are married, only 27% of black women are married? There are 556,000 more married black men than black women, even though there's 2 million more black women. What does that tell you? Men are not the problem. You need to start talking to those women and make sure that they're marriageable, because as of now, I believe 3 out of 4 black women don't want to get married because they don't understand it, because they don't get the knowledge that they should be given from our women who are old enough to teach them, right? So women, that onus is on you as well.
My goodness.
Hold on. Everybody take a sip, man. Hold up. Media Minutes did a Thanos snap. Dude, there's a Thanos snap, man.
I'm telling you.
Man, it's tough. You hear this stuff about, the women doing this on TikTok and, but there's no women, especially no women of prominence telling them that they're wrong. They're standing right next to them. And that point that Anton said they celebrated KS death, that actually was a huge turning point in my content. Because I seen that and I told you guys I was very green to these spaces. I didn't know that it was bad. I reached out to Kevin Samuels. I actually paid for a consult, for a style consult. I didn't know that he was talking about relationship issues until I pulled up one of his videos and I was like, what the hell? This is a style guy. And that's when I started listening, to what was going on. But when he passed, I seen, our women celebrate. And that struck a chord with me. And I knew it was worse than I thought at that point. And that was just last year? KS passed? So yeah, that still sticks with me, man. It doesn't sit right with me, and it actually made me kind of step back from trying to be as empowering as I thought that I would be in these spaces, because I saw that a large majority of black women celebrated that man's death. Now, it's still sticks heavy in my head, understanding that,
I think that was a key point, but also too when Ice Cube was trying to do some super PACs, and so he was like, "Hey, I'll go to the Republicans." They was like, "What? Don't go over there." Then they was like, "Well, it's for
the
Black America."
Black America,
yeah, the contract with Black America. And they was like, "Well, where's the black women stuff at?" He was like, "Dude, it's in there. It's about the family."
Yeah.
She was like, "Nah, we want our own joint in there."
Yep.
So we started understanding that some women look at themselves as their own identity, in their own community. So, and again, we talk about community on this platform.
Right.
Our platform is built off of hip hop, which basically is the foundation, in my opinion. I think Antoine the Gritty said this the other day. Rap you listen to, but hip hop you live it. You know what I'm saying? It's a cultural thing. It embodies the Kid and Play. The it goes into the style, like you said, the clothing, the gear. You know what I'm saying? So hip hop raised us, but now as adults, and some of us didn't grow up with fathers. My father wasn't in the house. So a lot of men did listen to KS for the styling. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to C Boogie. That's how I got on to KS. C Boogie actually had a video with KS about going out and shopping and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have an OG a lot of times as black men to teach you the things about fatherhood, how to dress, that you had to be at work sitting at your desk at 8, not walking in the door at 8. You know, that's not what they want. So then also how to just carry yourself. And then we don't have those spaces where black men get together or black women get together and we talk positive about each other. So this is right now, if you're listening right now, salute to everybody up in here. This is barbershop, beauty, salon talk. You know what I'm saying? Media Man's in the building. Hit the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? It's in the description, but we're going to put it on the screen too.
There you go.
He's cooking it. Hold up.
Man, cooking with that fish grease, whipping that work on this Fresh Out platform.
You gotta throw it around. You know,
I'm about to steal some of these sounds that y'all have.
You know what I'm saying? So
you got him.
He's cooking. But the other thing, like I said, this is not bashing men, women. We talking about community and how the music is affecting us, man. Because again, we don't see any other demographic with these issues. And again, this is why Media Man's platform is so crazy, because he basically talks or debunks, clarifies these situations with pure numbers and stats. But also his life experiences, let's be clear, as a 1% man of color. Let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think the KS, the first gen of the manosphere and man focused content on YouTube was, you know, deemed a cuss word. You know what I'm saying? To me, I think you're Gen 2, you know, where now it's more defined, debonair. It's, you know, debunking a lot of talking points that honestly, if you don't pick up certain books, they basically just instill fear. And my question for most men, like most men watch us, you know, all day long. Salute. Oh, West Side 81's up here in salute, or 91's up here in salute. We don't really hang around women, and if we do, we don't see what they digest. You watch one of these shows they watch, in the content, the 90-Day Fiancés and all that, and the Housewives of Metatonka and bull. Salute to Texas Brown Sugar put me on that. It's crazy. It's just scared of women. You know what I'm saying? And again, if we don't have our women, it's almost like hip hop music, man. What do we have? They took it and basically turned it into that zero sugar. That's worse for you, but the brand says it's good for you.
Yep,
so
it's that money, and those shows, they make it seem like grown people are fighting on a day-to-day basis.
Facts.
That rarely happens.
Facts.
And then we get that messaging out there, and we got people going out there thinking that it's okay to put your hands on folks. You know, I mean, you don't know what somebody going through. You may not make it to see the next day. And people need to understand that and stop being influenced by these people that are spreading these toxic, you know, messages and these images of people just rumbling with each other for no damn reason. You know, throwing drinks and stuff. Like, it's crazy, man.
This other thing, too, before Bebo goes in. If I'm a man, I got my stuff, I'm getting my stuff together, I'm trying to... How do they contact you? Do you give consultings? Like, what do you? What can I do if I'm a man? I'm getting my bread together. I'm getting my body together. I want to get married. I want to do the right things. What do they do, Media Man?
So I have I do consults on Calendly.
Okay.
I do about 5 a week. I always got both men and women calling me. But one thing I always make clear: I am not anybody's relationship coach. Okay. I do not have any credentials in regards to being a counselor or anything like that. I go off of lived experience, my educational background, and anything that I can help you get out of the rut that you seem that you're stuck in, right? So, and just to give a quick, you know, overview, my background is medical. I have a master's in public health. I have a bachelor's in nutrition science. I have 2 associates, one in criminal justice and one in public health technology, and multiple certifications in that field that goes with being a statistician, and also biostatistician, right? So yeah, I can teach you about how to, you know, gather numbers. I can teach you about dating experiences, and also fitness. I used to be a competitive bodybuilder for about 15 years. So yeah, so we could talk about that, and I also could teach you about grappling, MMA, whatever you want, right? But just don't come to me thinking that you're about to get somebody who is licensed in, you know, relationships, because, you know, and if I can say this real quick, One of the things that I think helped me on the dating market, and it was kind of a gift and a curse, I was diagnosed with gamophobia. Gamophobia is a fear of commitment, an extreme fear of commitment. And that comes with being in the military because I deployed 10 times. I've been PCS multiple times, different training missions, so on and so forth. So I wasn't used to holding on to something, to include women, right?
Wow.
So I had to go to therapy for 5 years to get those corrected so I can cultivate a healthy relationship with the woman that I'm going to marry, right? So I did the work. So we can talk about that if you want to reach out to me and I can help you, get your, your budgeting in order, whatever you need. I got you. I'm here for you. You can look at me as that mentor that you never had, especially for men, right?
Well, congratulations on your internal work that you've been working on by way of the therapist, and congratulations on announcing that you have a fiance on our platform. I know it's not the first time you've said it, but congratulations nonetheless, man, and thank you for sharing that information to everybody in case they desire to hit you up and seek some advice.
I'm always open, man. Yeah, I would love it.
Are there any possible solutions based on the last half of topics that we discussed that you feel that hip hop can provide, or just inside or outside of hip hop? And I say that because obviously this is a music based platform, but if there's anything that maybe say independent hip hop artists can do, or actually signed artists can do within, if they have the control to do so, because we know all of them don't. But yeah, what are your thoughts or possible solutions regarding the last round of topics that we just discussed in relation to our community?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I appreciate that. The first thing, those mainstream artists, they have to be willing to take a loss in order to get the correct message out there, right? So that's the first step. If you want things to change, then you have to show and prove. You have to be the people. You can't be the one that's telling, the young men to stop making murder music or whatever, and then you're going back doing the same thing. You have to be willing to take a loss because, as we know, that music may not sell as well as something that's talking about things that are popular. But as long as the message is good, the people that need to hear it will start rocking with it. And we can hopefully that creates a domino effect throughout the Black community in particular. And not just Black community, whole hip hop community is very vast, right? So those mainstream artists, they need to be the ones that lead the charge in regards to changing the culture, changing the narrative, and get back to making, good music. Second, I think, young men and women, they need to be open to listening to people that are older than them, and also be open to listening to people that make less than you, right? And that's one of the biggest issues that young folks have. They'll go back to their money and say, well, I got more money than you. Why should I be listening to you, old head? And I'm like, hey, basically. Yeah, So that's one thing. It's a lot of knowledge in these old bodies, right? So you sit down, listen to them, and see what they can tell you, and hopefully we can make a change in the near future. But hip hop ain't going nowhere. I'm always the music, they can't delete the old music. If I got to go back and start listening to some Cool Mo D or something, some whoever else.
West.
First of all, man,
pull back from that. So we got a salute, man. It's here to stay. It's here to stay, definitely.
Well, Media Man came out of church. Let's come back into church. Reverend Dr. Professor Silverthorne and Apostle. He said we have to teach Black men and women how to be great people. The rest comes with that. Self-love is the answer. Unity is the key.
Yeah, being nice to each other, man. Like, Jesus. One of the most shocking things that I heard when I got these spaces, women were, they said that a man telling them to smile was offensive. I remember Kevin Samuels did that, and I was like, huh? I was confused. I was like, what does that mean? Like, what is he talking about? It's offensive. And me, I was watching it with a couple of people, and we were all like, so, a girl smiling is, it was offensive. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So if y'all was a fly on the wall and you seen how I was reacting to some of these videos, I could have swore they were paid actors or actors. Because I was like, is this real? Yeah. Like, what? Like, people really think like that? It was funny, man. So
we're definitely in some interesting times.
This is the thing, man. You talked about old heads. we gotta talk about Larry Elder.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying? Getting cooking on the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? We don't agree with everything Larry said, but
Absolutely.
he cooked Charlemagne and
Yeah.
DJ Envy. Let me play this real quick, man. You know, fair use, man. We're educating hip hop people today.
Ever heard of the term nigga wake up call?
No.
It is an incident where a person of color forgets that they are of color and are reminded rather brutally by an unexpected act of racism. Have you ever had any of those?
Oh, brother.
I'm just asking. You think you've ever
Well,
had
I'm acutely aware, Charlemagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get upset.
I got one more too. Hold on, man.
Well, I bring a lot of issues to the table that I feel our side is not talking enough about. If
fair use, don't flag her at all.
Yeah.
For example, the number one social problem in America by far is the epidemic not of COVID, but of fatherlessness. 70% of black kids today enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother, up from 25% back in 1965. Now 25% of white kids enter the world today without a father in the home, married to the mother. And the stats are clear. Even Barack Obama once cited them. If you're raised without a dad, you're 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. What's happened? In the mid-'60s, with I think the best of intentions, a Democrat named Lyndon Johnson launched what he called the War on Poverty. And since then, we have incentivized women to marry the government and incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. You know, when I say this to people,
Media, man. Did you agree with Larry on that, man? The
You're-
fatherlessness.
You're the stat king. So
Yeah,
you gotta
Stat
confirm.
King.
Let
Let's
me-
be clear.
let me-
Stat King in the building.
You guys have a large audience, so I'm gonna educate everybody in regards to that 70% number that he was talking about. 70% of the black, children in the black community are born out of wedlock. That is true. However, in the past, 20 years, we just started considering biracialness as a category, right? So when they say 70%, that is not attributed to black men and black women having children together. They are talking about black men having children with other races of women. They are talking about black women having children with other races of men. So that's how that number is broken into sections. So when people hear that, they think black men and black women are having all these children out of wedlock, when it's actually not true. The second point is that, and I want you guys to do your research. I want you, whoever doesn't believe this stat, I want you to go to Google and type in how many black men have children and tell me what you find in the comment section. You know what's going to come up? 46% of black men have ever fathered children, which means 54% of black men have never had children. Also, if you couple that with 33% of black men being married, that tells you right there that the small percentage of black men are having the majority of children with black women. So all this deadbeat dad talk and black men being SHIT, it's not true, because the majority of black men don't even have children, right? So that was one thing that I wish Larry Elder would have mentioned on the Breakfast Club, because that's a huge platform, and black people need to understand this, because that narrative about black men being trash and not in their kids' lives, that lie has been debunked by Oprah, y'all homegirl. She the one that actually reported it. The study is out there. Black men are the most involved fathers in their kids' lives, whether they're
Facts.
married or not, right?
Facts.
So let's just debunk that on y'all platform, and I do it almost on a daily basis when I go live on my platform. So to any person, and I'm speaking directly to black women, because I see y'all running with this narrative that all these black men are trash. It's not true. Go on TikTok right now. There's a trend talking about is a woman on there saying that I was pregnant or I had a kid by a unknown man or something like that.
The random man in Atlanta.
Yeah, random man in Atlanta. And all these women are coming out the woodwork, and you have one man having children with about 7, 8, 9 different women. So what does that tell you? You guys are having sex with the same men.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
All right. So let's end all that stereotype about black men doing this and black men doing that. Larry Elder was spot on in regards to what he said to Charlemagne. My issue, and I will take full responsibility for this. Too long have I voted for other people's interests because the majority of people that I know are Democrats and they can benefit if Democrats put in the right, bills and things of that nature. However, if I decide to start voting my interests, which is Republican, which should be, then we got a problem. And Larry Elder, when he went up there, it almost made me lean towards. And I'm going to just be completely honest, because what Charlemagne and that girl, Tesla Figueroa, they need to remove her because she is not making black women look good at all. It didn't help, right?
Right.
So, yeah, so I agree with what he said. He did an excellent job on that interview. I was just sad that he didn't get picked up to be on the big stage or whatever, So
well, and again, I think that was on purpose too.
Yeah,
but then also I watched the entire interview, and shout out to the Breakfast Club, man. Salute, man. We gotta salute, what they doing, or what they've been doing. But I think what they're doing currently is they're trying to change the narrative. You have to have a balanced platform. But again, when Larry said your Negro wake up call should have been when he slapped you with that you're not black if you don't vote for me.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Goodness.
Cooked him. But again, like I said, I love what you said about voting for your household, voting for yourself, and not voting for back in the day your Mama Dukes. If you say something about Obama, you can't come to Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I'm saying? I remember KS when he was living, he said, man, I knew I was the topic of every Thanksgiving that year. You know what I'm saying? Because guys came in with information that they typically didn't have. And so, again, keeping the black man and the black woman, away from data statistics and what's really going on is really hurting us. And the media, and this is why we have Media Man on right now, is they're using what we love, which is, enjoying TV, watching our shows, listening to our music around our kids. Because back in the day, I could listen to Roger Trout with my mama. You know what I'm saying? And so we dance, clean the house together. Now they're doing it with this music, and you're basically influencing the kids in a bad way, male and female. So again, the numbers are what that Media Man focuses on. That's why we love him. That's why we have him on this platform. That's why we give him his flowers today.
Yeah, man, I agree with everything you just said, man. That was spot on, brother. Hey,
and real talk, thank you to your fiance for giving us the time.
Oh yeah,
she
probably gonna go to sleep. But I am going to eat some curry chicken and rice here in a second.
There you go. There you go.
But if you guys don't mind, can you pull up that comment where Born Gifted said, "Notice how the fake gender war is only promoted in the black community"? That's not true. The only reason why you see that is because you only care about the black community. White people have been talking about this stuff for decades. And if you go on YouTube right now, go to the Whatever podcast. You can listen to them talk about the same things. You can go to Rich Cooper. You can go to Better Bachelor. These are all white people. They have the same conversations that we have. So just saying that it's only being promoted in the black community is untrue because you only care about the black community, which is not a bad thing. But to say that, it's only in the black community, absolutely not. Expand your horizons, look at other different pieces of content and see what they're talking about before you sit there and say that it's only being discussed in the black community, because it's not true.
Well, and like I said, salute Born Gifted for even putting up the comment. Why do you think it's like that though? What is it about us that they want to keep us so under their thumb?
But because it's profitable. And I use an example of, owning two homes. If you get people together, that's only one home sold. But if you keep us separated, that's two homes sold. So it's profit. I benefit from it. I'm in the real estate business. I own a couple homes. I rent out. So, the woman who bought my home in Maryland, she's a single mother, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. It's all about profit. And we still haven't understood it just yet, So as long as we keep women buying, we keep men, in their, focus on their interests, going jet skiing and all types of stuff or whatever, that makes more money for the people who don't care about you. And I don't think people understand that. So if we keep each other separated, it just makes more money for the people who are already at the top. So
again, man, drop a bomb, let me blow it down. Media man is cooking real quick. You about to get to that curry real quick. I got one more question before he gets into that curry.
You good.
You know what I'm saying? We talked about it earlier, man, but it's almost like a whole situation, man.
Man, real quick, I'm sorry, guys. I pushed over the comments thing. I'm gonna remove them, but I really want to address this James Silverthorne comment, if you don't mind.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
You see that?
Okay.
Black people are the world's bottom B, and we're so in love with our pimp, we stuck. We are absolutely not the bottom B of society. Do you know that the black community out-earns most small countries? We generate more money.
We are the 11th wealthiest country in the world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So to say that black people aren't doing their thing, absolutely not. That's what you feel and what you think you see. But if you look out and expand your horizons, once again, there are a lot of black people doing amazing things. I have multiple videos about industries and businesses that black people own that you've never even heard of.
The 20 people the video that you did with the 20 guys, crazy. Go, hold on, I'm gonna put that in the chat. Keep cooking on.
So, but like I said, that's the things that, again, black people, we have to get out of this box and thinking that whatever you've heard in the past and these stereotypes are true. It is absolutely not true. Black people are doing great things. 57% of black men are in the middle class or higher, and y'all don't know these things because you listen to this toxic hip hop music or these women talking these false talking points, and you believe that to be facts. It's not true. Do your research. You didn't even have to do your research. Go to certain pages like Black Excellus, and they'll give you the history on how many black people were doing well in the 60s and 70s. They have that old generational wealth money that you can use as a model to build your own castle, right? These are things that we need to know in the black community. We will never get anywhere if we don't get people to understand and acknowledge that the black community is worth so much more. We can be so much better if we just listen to each other and come to the table and have the conversation in good faith, as Kevin Samuels used to say, right? We got to stop this, man.
Damn.
I'm going to move this off.
Damn.
No.
I'm sorry. My apologies, guys.
No.
I didn't know that I could use the comments thing. So
Yeah.
It was on private.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't know if I could see that. So yeah.
No, I put that video in there for everybody to check out and enjoy. Again, this is why we listen to media, man. There's a lot of stuff that I thought, being from the Midwest, making money. Oh, if I make this amount of money, I'm good. And it's so much deeper than rap. You know what I'm saying? It's so much deeper than rap. It's crazy. To me, this is why you go to his platform, to debunk a lot of these things, to get clarification. This is not hating on nobody.
Yeah.
It's educating and elevating yourself, man. So you kind of understand when you see certain things, like, man, come on, man. Like, I already saw that banana in the tailpipe already. We're not even on that no more. So you have to basically trick us with something else.
Yeah,
you know
what honestly put me, you just talked about the money. What put things into perspective for me is, for our little pre-honeymoon trip, I took my fiance to the south of France. We stayed we stayed in Monaco. We stayed in all the different places out there, right? I do pretty well for myself. But when you go to the south of France, you see that people literally park their yachts there because they actually live there. But they come back there every summer and things of that nature. And it's like, wait, this is a different type of money over here, So it put things into perspective that we definitely have a long way to go, to generate that generational wealth that we like to talk about, right? Yeah. But we are doing well. If we're only 30% of the U.S. population, black men are only 7% of it, 6.57% of it, right? So we're doing what we need to do out of that small percentage, but we can always be better, and that's where I think you guys are focused on that, and I'm focused on that as well. Yeah. So.
Well, and again, like I said, B-Boy, I got one more question for me, and you can wrap it up. First of all, Media Man's cooking.
Oh, he's cooking with fish grease.
Cooking.
Again, appreciate y'all bringing me on the platform, man. This is amazing.
Yeah. If you ain't got no Sunday dinner, man, this is it.
Oh, yeah.
This is it. This is the last question I have, man, and we talked about it. I turn the music off for this one. Just what's the future? Because again, we see the baby mama culture. We're not blaming on the women, but there's accountability on both sides. We see the Keke Palmer situation, leaving homie because he's like, man, you a mother. What you doing with your cheeks out and bull? You know what I'm saying? We see the Nia Long saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm back with homie, but I still want that custody bread.
Yeah.
Not the money, Bebo. I need that custody bread. We see Naomi Osaka got a baby by a rapper?
Yeah.
And you like the top in the world? And then we see Rihanna with ASAP Dusty.
Cocaine.
Y'all called him Dusty.
ASAP Dusty. with a male bag and bull. This the dude that you want for the father of your children? So again, when they say, yeah, all men ain't nothing, we see because it's some of the guys. And first of all, that's Bebo's cousin with the hat on.
Stop.
That's your cousin right there. You know what I'm saying? With that Beijing, we see you. You know what I'm saying?
Stop.
But my last question for you, man. It's salute to your cousin over there with the photo shoot. But my thing, medium man, is we see all the women that all of our wonderful women they idolize. This is what they doing. So why would you do something different? So when my cousin says, hey, I'm married and I got 2 kids and I'm with my husband, her friends go, oh, I'm sure he did something wrong. Something's wrong with him. He cheated on you. He liked the girl's picture on Facebook. What'd he do? He did something. You don't idolize that dude. He's a part of the problem. When you see the celebrity women doing that, and Bebo P's also said this too. You know, they look up to Oprah. They look up to, you know, when they talk about money, they talk about Oprah. You know what I'm saying? When they talk about music and swag, they talk about Beyonce. But we've seen them turn on them too.
Yeah.
When they start talking, you know, when Oprah said, hey, you know, black men are good fathers. Whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have no kids. Then we hear Beyonce with the cater to you situation. Man, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever make no song like that again. So she doesn't. So what's your thoughts like? And again, this is this week. I just put this out this week. This is just this week. This isn't even like a month or so. And these are top tier, high earning, beautiful women of color. So why would, if I'm 25, I'm going to do what they doing? I'm going to have a baby so I can get a body like Keke Palmer. Keke ain't never got no attention until she got the cheeks out. What's your thoughts on this, though?
Man, and I'm probably gonna come at it from a different angle, and I'm gonna talk to the guys. If you wouldn't allow this type of behavior, then it wouldn't happen. A lot of men in our community, they have a scarcity mindset, which basically means that you're scared to lose a woman by telling her what you think that she should be doing if it bothers you. You need to start working on your abundance mindset and understand that there are millions of women out there. And if you find that one that you're sitting there messing with and she's not doing what you think is right and what suits you, get rid of her, go find another one. But too many times we have too many men that accept this type of behavior, and that's a problem. He shouldn't, Keke Palmer's guy should not be on the internet addressing her publicly. He should be talking to her privately, and she should be the one apologizing to the public for what she did. And I tell guys that all the time. You're not gonna win if you go to social media with your issues, especially on relationships, right? So in the black community, our men in particular, we need to do a better job at getting rid of women who don't act right. Women have no problem with doing that with men. You see our divorce numbers, right?
Facts.
So if women have an issue, they ain't feeling right, whatever reason, good or bad, they're out of there. But our men, we tend to stay for the kids and all types of stuff when a woman is blatantly disrespecting you. It may sound good on paper, but you're going to end up a used brother at the end of your lifespan. Your life and your purpose on this earth is not just to simply provide and die. You need to be happy in your life. And that includes with the woman that you decide to settle down with and have children with. So men, I need y'all to step up. If a woman is acting a fool, stop accepting that behavior and get out of there. It makes no sense.
But me, man, they gonna say, what about the cheeks? What about what about my kids?
and you know what's funny?
If I leave her, I'm gonna be the one that her mama's gonna say I'm a horrible person. But then if she leaves, she gets the out and she's cool.
Iceberg asking for a friend.
Yeah, so this is what men need to get comfortable with. Y'all need to be comfortable with being the bad guy, because you always gonna be the villain in her story, no matter how the relationship ended, no matter what. So every time you break up with a woman, even though you may have been very civil and said, "Hey, I don't think we are compatible," and you sit her down and give you a list of issues why we're not compatible, and this is why I'm ending the relationship, you are still going to be the bad guy in her circle. So you have to be content with that and stand on your purpose. It's okay. Everybody goes through it, right? So yeah, if just to make sure that we talk about peace, right? We want peace. We want peace. Men want peace. You have to create your own peace as well. Don't expect a woman to come in your life and make sure that you're peaceful. You need to be peaceful already. She needs to be peaceful already and add to your peace. And if she's not peaceful and she's unruly and all this, crazy stuff hitting you upside the head, which is bad in our Black community, you need to leave. Or you need to make sure that she understands how the law works and turn her ass in, right? Same thing for women. If a dude is swinging on you, you know what the police is there for. And I know that's kind of taboo in the Black community. We don't like 12. I just learned that word. So y'all need to start, make sure you use them cops for their tax dollars that we paying them, right? So yeah, so we got to start stepping up and stop allowing this stuff. Now, women, that doesn't give you full reign to be sitting out there acting a fool and see if you're going to get away with stuff. No, start to be women, work on your femininity. What is that? Y'all working on yourselves? What the hell are you actually doing when you're working on yourself and you come back on the dating market the same woman, just with a little bit more crystals and flowers that you praying to? That's stupid. Work on yourself in a real way. Go to therapy, fix your issues, and bring a better product out here on the dating market so y'all can get married at a higher rate than 27%.
The curry is calling your name.
Flames.
Flames,
folks. Flames.
Like I said, Bebo, go ahead and end it off, man. You got like your last question for Medium Man before he gets that curry.
What's next for Medium Man for the rest of 2023, going into 2024 and beyond? Any major moves, any small moves that could be significant? What's next for you, brother?
Yeah, before I answer that, man, just kudos to y'all brothers. I greatly appreciate the time that y'all took out to have me on the platform, man. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying it. I enjoy the content, brothers. So thank you. The questions was amazing. This was a great interview. What's next for me is more content on financial literacy. I'm kind of at an advantage because, my fiance is a financial advisor. Right. So I'm trying to give those messages out to, in particular, Black men, because I've seen an issue over these past 2 or 3 weeks where I've been trying to introduce, how to budget, and what I'm getting back and the feedback is not sitting well with me. So I think I need to focus on that a little bit more. Also, this week coming up, I'll be actually in Abu Dhabi, seeing my brother for about 7 days. I usually go out there. I go to the Grand Mosque and pray. So it's going to be a great time out there. And it's kind of a celebration of my last mental health therapy session, and I haven't seen my brother in 2 years. So I'm going to go out there, have a good time. So more travel content. And also I'm trying to work on a second studio so I can have some in-home guests, so to speak, so we can have like one-on-one conversations that we can, work on some solutions and give people some tangible things that they can apply to their lives. No courses, no money involved. I'm just trying to have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where my platform is going for the rest of 2023. So thank you. Appreciate you asking me, man.
Hey, we appreciate you more. We definitely appreciate not only you just being a guest. Well, you're no longer a guest. You can come back at any time.
Now you can take your shoes off. You can wash the dishes.
Vacuum,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, put the biscuits in before we eat dinner.
Right,
you know
right.
Now you family now.
Right.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man.
Hey, definitely have safe travels whenever you go back to see your brother in Abu Dhabi. Best of wishes on your goal of the upcoming second studio. And brother, keep doing the work. There is a scene from that first Justice League movie, the one before Zack Snyder had released, and the Flash was basically just kind of flabbergasted as to what to do. And then Ben Affleck's Batman, he said, "Save one, focus on one." And he was like, "What?" And then he said, "Focus on one." So keep making those, as Denzel Washington said, brick by brick steps, man.
Yep.
Even though it might seem like it's a struggle with certain variables, due to safety factors or lack thereof. Man, we definitely support brothers like you and just people like you who advocate for black men and just really the overall community.
Yeah.
And just willing to do whatever it takes in order to make this world a better place. So we appreciate you for rocking with us here at Fresh Out, the world's most dangerous podcast. You just made it that much more dangerous, brother, for our State of the Union Hip Hop 50 version of 2023.
I appreciate you, brothers. God bless, man, and hey, have a great rest of the show, man. I enjoyed myself thoroughly.
We're done. We like I said, we're gonna get some curry too. We
yeah. I was gonna say, can you say some of that?
Yeah.
No, but like I said, definitely, man. If you guys are new to Media Man, again, man, I'm a huge fan. This brother's one of the best dudes on YouTube. Let's be clear. There's nobody better than him, man, cooking like this, man. Every week he's cooking like this. Twice a week?
Yeah, 3 times now.
Three times a week.
Wow,
Yeah, I'm doing a Monday show,
Definitely,
and then I'm doing a Saturday, and then I have a flex day throughout the week because I don't know when I'm going to be free to do it. So one of the days of the week, I make sure that I go live. And we talk about fitness, mental health, or whatever, the guys and the ladies over there want to talk about. So.
Hey, definitely go and support Medium Man's YouTube channel. Can you tell folks where to find you, even though we're going to have it posted in our chat area?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Same thing, Medium Man on YouTube, and then also on Instagram, Medium Man RP, and then on Facebook, Medium Man RP as well. So, I stream on both platforms, when I go live. So if you're a Facebook fan, you can see me over there or on YouTube. And then if you want to do one of those consults, just hit me up on Calendly and type in Medium Man, and you'll see me up there. So I do about 5 a week. So it's a good time. If you need some insight on how to create a podcast, I can help you out with that. And anything that you need, fitness, nutrition, mental health, we can talk about it. So thank y'all, brothers. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. Iceberg
Westside said he's subbing to you, man. He getting in.
Hey, you got a new sub. Iceberg got you next to Nas, so that means something. Legendary status there.
We had to make him bigger than Nas too. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get him over there, like, get out of here. But hey, man, stay on with us, man. We gonna do the outro, but stay on with us, man, just so we can rap with you behind the scenes. But again,
send us home.
Again, royalty. Let's be clear. We got a royalty.
Yes.
We got royalty in the building, man. Go over to his channel, man. Get your mind right. Get your body right, man. It starts over there, in my opinion, man. Again, R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels, man. To me, I think, of course, the Godfather. Just the name says itself, but it ended. You know what I'm saying? Too soon. So to me, there's so many guys out there that do some great things, but Media Man is one of them, man. Like top tier. Go check him out. Blessings. We had to give him his flowers today.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Thank you to
and thank you all out there too,
man, and the kiddo, man, for your time.
Yes.
And again, we'll see you guys Wednesday, man, 9:30, man. You know how it goes down. You got to replay this one, man. This is the one you got to replay.
Oh yeah.
It's
write down those stats.
A lot of gems, like Boy said. Great conversation, very much needed in our space again.
Salute to you,
see y'all Wednesday, man.
Hey,
salute Media Man, Bebo P, Iceberg, man. We out, man. Peace.
Shout out to J Camp. Peace.
Oh yeah, shout out to J Camp Mama too. Happy birthday,
Mama.
Peace.
Hey, we appreciate y'all out there. Thank you for rocking with us, and thank you for rocking with Media Man on the world's most dangerous podcast. Peace.
World's most dangerous podcast. We gon' be in the building with good. It was going bar for bar. Like a day camp was going down, man.